Good to see you, man. How are you doing?
Alright. We are the Glasgow Cabbies rally. We are the Glasgow Cabbies rally. Folks, we're about to start. Hello and welcome to the Glasgow Cabbies event here. Pro-UK rally. We're here today to demand an end to cruel and inhumane mass immigration. Cruel and inhumane on both parts. Sending them here and then for us to deal with them. It's cruel and inhumane. We're here as a show of solidarity in complete and utter opposition to the madness which is mass immigration. Madness is what it is. And all that mob over there, that huge mob over there, you wonder how many of them are paid to be there today? How many of them? That's the whole weight of the Scottish government on us today. The whole weight of them. How many of us are paid to be here today? Absolutely zero. Absolutely none of us. Because our principles can't be bought. We can't be bought and sold here. So we've got a few speakers lined up today. We've got four. We've got Johnny McInnes coming up first. Then we'll go to Alistair McConnachie. Then we'll have Craig Houston. Back to Alistair, then me, I'll cap it off. And we're here in complete and utter opposition to these clowns on the opposite side. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have Scotland's best interests at heart. They do not have our interests at heart. We're here to build a better future for their children. And they are opposing that. It's unacceptable. So, I'd like to introduce Johnny McInnes. He's going to come up stage. He's going to speak for a few minutes. Give it up for Johnny.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. I won't keep this too long here. I'll keep the speeches for the cover people. Just before I get started, I'd like to apologise on behalf of Steph, the Glasgow Cabbie, who unfortunately has taken unwell the last few days and is unable to attend here today, which is a massive shame as he has put in some amount of effort organising everything to make sure today was a success. He sends his sincere gratitude to everyone who turned out today to support our rally highlighting the government's failures. You're probably all wondering who I am and why I'm standing here speaking today. I've been helping organise today's events in the background alongside Steph, the Glasgow Cabbie. But besides from all that, I'm just a young lad from Glasgow, and just like every single one of you people standing here today, a very proud British patriot, but also a very concerned father. I also stand here as a very concerned father who has some fire in his belly with regards to the state of our city and our country's future for our children and grandchildren. Firstly, guys, I can't express what it means to me individually for so many of you people who have turned out here today to support our pro-UK Stop the Boats rally. And a massive thank you goes to our speakers, Alistair, Niall and Craig, for taking the time to come and take part in our rally. The support is truly appreciated, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the situation we now find ourselves in and faces our nation is nothing like we have seen in the last 100 years. Our country as a whole and our way of life is in serious jeopardy. And just to be very clear on the matter, under no circumstances am I calling for any sort of civil unrest or division within our city. It's the complete opposite. In fact, we aim to unite our city and country as one. We have promoted this rally from day one that it will be a peaceful rally where we have encouraged all walks of life to attend, and most importantly, our families. This peaceful rally is intended to give the patriotic British tax-paying public the chance to voice their frustrations on the mass illegal immigration that is happening up and down our country, and also to highlight the two-tier policing system in which we find ourselves today. We've seen in recent weeks officers running away from armed migrant gangs having been told to retreat, but yet are sent out in full riot gear and dog units when it is the general British public finally say enough is enough. You only have to look at the situation we find our good friend Tommy Robinson in, who sadly couldn't be here today, but he does send us his best wishes. Tommy has for years been persecuted for his activism, when all he was doing was highlighting the issues to the people, as the police and government have failed to do so for several years. But yet the people he has exposed and the other violent offenders walk our streets freely. Welcome to broken Britain. People, let's be very clear on this. Keir Starmer and his Labour Party, with their anti-British ideology, could honestly be the worst thing to happen to our country in many, many years. We now find ourselves facing jail time for comments made on social media posts. Anything that goes against their woke agenda is seen as a crime these days. We as a country have been very, very proud in the past that we have taken in refugees from many a different foreign land who were in desperate need of safety, and we have also taken in those who have benefited our country, have then grown and fully integrated themselves into our communities. They have learned our culture, they have paid back to our society by working hard and obeying the law. Never once have they tried to force their ideology onto us. But now we face a different kind of evil. An evil in which we have arriving daily on our shores. Mass amounts of military-aged men, sometimes 50 to 100 per boat, 4 or 5 boats per day, every day. No women, no children. It really does start to make you think of the old quote. A man fleeing war takes his family with him, but a man going to war leaves his family behind. People, the message here today is very, very clear. We must put a stop to all illegal immigration into this country. We must deport all undocumented foreigners from British soil. Our government has let us down time and time again for years. We've been lied to regarding the amount of illegal aliens entering this country and how much we actually know about any of them. We pay to house them, we feed them, we clothe them, many thousands in Glasgow alone. And yet here we are set to spend even more of our taxpayers' money on protecting their way of life, when these people have zero respect or tolerance for our British values. And all this is happening while our veterans are lying on the streets. Our pensioners' winter money has been cut back and left to freeze after contributing their whole lives to this country. And now we face our children, another children's meals have been removed. That, people, is exactly what betrayal looks like in this country. We, the people standing here today, are the ones who are going to start to make the difference, people. We must come together and stand up for our children's futures. Something amazing that I have seen come out of all this sort of chaos is how it started to unite this long divided city and country of ours. This is evident of the turnout here today. Even more so when you think further afield, we're facing a bigger problem when you see the likes of Belfast, people uniting on the streets to come together as one, united as one, and to stand against this force of evil and his idiotic band over there. From day one, when these people descended into Ireland, the Irish people took to the streets. They took to protest against illegal migrants who were destroying their towns and cities up and down the country. Guys, this is our time to stand up for our country. Make people in our wonderful British history who we still speak of regular today and proudly today. Proud patriotic people who without whom we wouldn't be here today celebrating our heritage of freedom and our British way of life. These people have made the stand when duty called. Are we seriously going to be the generation that feels Britain? For me, that's not the values I was brought up on. And it's certainly not the values that this great country is built on. United we will stand here, people. Divided we will fall. The message is clear. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll not take up too much more of your time. Again, a very, very big thank you from me personally, and a very personal thank you to the ones who contacted me from day one with all your support and offering help along the way. The atmosphere today has been electric, and I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully this can be the first of many. Today, as I've said, guys, the message is clear. Peaceful rally, enough is enough. We're not going to take much more of this. And, and just on that note, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure every single person here gets home safe tonight. Keep up the good fight. Our courage is the test. God bless, guys. Give it up for Tony! And it's so true what he's saying. We are fighting for a better future for our kids. I don't know how many Labour parents, how many Labour children. We are fighting for a better future for our kids, and that's simple as that. Mass immigration is bad for us. It's bad for Scotland. It's bad for the UK. Right, next we've got Alistair coming up. Give it up for Alistair McConnachie, first for good team, providing all these flags. Thank you very much, Niall. And I want to say thank you to everybody who has turned out today. This is the very first rally that we have ever had. This is the first immigration restrictionist rally that has ever been held in the heart of this great British city of Glasgow. And you know, it's about time. And I've got a message for the Scottish middle class as I look out here today. I want to say, where is the Scottish middle class that should be coming out and standing up for his country? God bless the working men and women of Glasgow and of Scotland who have turned out today. Going out to say the middle class is coming out. We need to see them standing up for their country. We need to see them giving support to groups like ourselves. We need to stand up and support our fantastic United Kingdom and our job today is to stop mass immigration. In 2023, 1.2 million legal immigrants came into the country. That is beyond ridiculous. In 2022, 1.2, another 1.2 million came in. Mass immigration has to end, and for starters, it needs to go back to the historic norm, which was still very high, back in between the 60s and 97 when Blair took over. We need to get back to that. We're not saying end all immigration, but end mass immigration. But also saying we need to stop the boats. It's an utter disgrace that our country, as we stand here today in the cenotaph, remembering the men and women who fought and died for us. An utter disgrace that our country is being invaded daily across the English Channel by hundreds of young fighting age men. Our ancestors are turning in their graves looking at what has become of our political class.
And we don't need just to stop them, we need to send them back. And what we also need to do is to ensure that there is no resettlement of such boat people in our country. No resettlement in Scotland of fraudulent asylum seekers. They need to go home. And here's another thing. This is about the future of Scotland as a recognisably Scottish nation. And if you're a Scottish nationalist, or if you're a Scottish unionist, we may differ on the merits of the UK Union, but surely we agree that Scotland's borders must be protected. And so I am calling for the Scottish nationalists and Scottish unionists to come together to say that we have a shared interest in getting rid of all the political class that want to flood Scotland with legal and illegal immigration. We need to get rid of the Swinnies of this world. And we need to say that in our Salwa, the Labour leader. Mr. Salwa, you need to be First Minister in 2026. Well, if you've got designs on that station, then you better start listening to us. We want to hear serious talk from you about stopping the levels of immigration. We want you to be speaking to Mr. Keir Starmer in Westminster and saying, unless you stop the booze, unless you send them back, unless you lower mass immigration, then we might not win in 2026. And Mr. Starmer has to think, oh crikey, I better start getting my arse in gear then. I better start stopping the boats, seriously stopping them, using the Royal Navy and the Royal Marines to intercept the boats peacefully and to peacefully drag them back to the shores of Cabbie where they belong. And you know, a lot of the Labour MSPs that are hoping to win in 2026 will be elected on the regional list. And on the regional list, many of them are elected only by a few hundred votes. It's only a few hundred votes which differs the final regional MP from the other one that lost out. And so in all of the Scottish constituencies in 2026, it's going to be a close battle. And Starmer and Salwa are going to realise that unless they stop the boats, they're not going to win in 2026. That's what we can do politically because, you know, they might have taken everything from us, but we've still got our vote. And we're in the Scottish election 20 months from this very day, on the 7th of May, 2026. It's going to be the Hollywood election, exactly 20 months out. And we're going to make this an issue at the 2026 Scottish election. And each of us have 2 votes, and we're going to make it clear to Salwa that we're not going to vote for you. Do not take our vote for granted. And we're not going to vote for the SNP either. Do not take our vote for granted. And the Lib Dems and the Tories, unless you do something to talk against mass immigration, unless you do something to stop the booze, we're not going to vote for you either. We will vote for people who want, like that flag said, to stop immigration, to stop mass immigration, to stop the boats, to send them back, and to ensure there's no resettlement in Scotland. And somebody with that platform, they will get the vote of the good people of Scotland. And Johnny McInnes just up there and said, you know, this is a battle, it's a democratic battle. Our forefathers, our foremothers, they're looking down on us right now and they're wishing us the very best. And they're saying we have to fight for Scotland. Because the people at side of the square. They don't care about Scotland. They don't care about the United Kingdom. They don't even care about distinct nation states. Let's get this fantastic flag back up again. They don't care about nation states. They want to destroy nation states. They want open borders. Well, we want secure borders. We want borders where our children and families can grow up in a recognisably Scottish nation, can grow up safely and peacefully. And all of this can be done perfectly democratically and perfectly humanely. You know, we are paying £8 million a day to keep the fake asylum seekers in hotels throughout the United Kingdom. Well, maybe that £8 million could go towards winter fuel allowance for our pensioners. And there'll even be enough left over to pay a one-way return ticket to these people to go back to wherever it was that they came from. And there might even be more money, and we could give them a resettlement grant. And I'm being serious here. We can do this perfectly humanely. We can do this perfectly within the financial system as it exists. It's not impossible. The only thing lacking is the political will. And the political will is lacking because the politicians don't listen to us. They listen to the people at the other side of the square. In fact, the people at the other side of the square are being paid by us. These NGOs are getting hundreds of thousands of pounds of our money to campaign to break down our borders. The politicians in the Scottish Parliament, one of them is speaking, is getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. Our money to fight against us. The trade unions, and most of these are just salaried people who work for the NGOs. They're not the normal people of Glasgow. They all are literally employed by the NGOs and by the Parliament and by the Council to stand there and argue against us. And that's our money at work. Just remember that. But we're not getting anything from the British taxpayer except, hopefully, their support. Folks, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes and I'm going to tell you how we can kick this ball down the field and how we can start to win. Thank you very much. Give it up for Alistair. So next, we've got a man who needs no introduction really. His name is Craig Houston. Come to the stage, Craig. Give it a big round of applause, guys. Let's make some noise. Hi, people in the back. Welcome to our live. Could you put that down, please? I'll try to see, please. Thanks. Welcome to a live edition of my 10-minute moan, and I promise it will not be any more than 10 minutes. And they all turned up to hear it. That's nice, all right. You people are my people, and those folk are jealous. This here is a document that identifies me across the world. And I believe that every person that has one of these should be the priority of the country that issued them. And that doesn't mean just British. That means if you have a German one, then Germany look after you. An American one, America look after you. And our concerns, if you hold one of these, should be paramount to the people running our country. And it's not. But it should be. And I'll tell you my concerns. And therefore, I will tell you how we fix them. No them at the back. They've not got a clue how to fix anything. They've had a go for 17 years and look at the shite hole we're in. Okay? I have four main concerns. My first concern is not the immigrant. I know plenty. Good people, honest people, people with standards. However, I have a problem with the levels of immigration. Now I get told I'm far right, I'm racist, I'm a fascist, I'm a Nazi for these people over here for having that concern. But let me share a secret. For 20 years, every government that's came into the United Kingdom has shared my same fear. Because every one of them has put in their manifesto that we have too much immigrants. Yet none of them have sorted it. So if I'm a fascist, I'm a Nazi, and I'm right wing, then so is every Tory and Labour government of the last 20 years. We've had immigration levels 30 to 50,000 since the war, all the way through the 90s. Most of us lived through the 90s. Some of us can even remember the 90s. However, there wasn't a problem. Now we have 1.2 million coming in. That's out of control. That's my first concern that needs sorted. They'll try to outshout me because they know I'm telling the truth. My second concern is not the asylum seeker. I have a lovely family that I deal with as a volunteer. Good Afghani people. The man, the dad, helped our forces in Afghanistan as an interpreter against the Taliban. When our forces came out, he came with us. And he's a good man. He's a man with standards. He wouldn't stand over there shouting at me. And he is an asylum seeker. And people like him deserve asylum in our country. But I have a problem with asylum. Because we have fake asylum. Let me tell you how easy it is to come here as an asylum seeker. You pay 50 quid to EasyJet from any country in Europe. You get to passport control and you say, I seek asylum. And you get put in a process. So why are thousands every month coming and paying £5,000 and coming in dinghies and putting themselves in the back of trucks? That makes no sense to me. We do not have a problem with asylum seekers. We have a problem with fake asylum seekers. And my third problem is housing. And I can see amongst us people I know, people that serve this country, and they get treated like shite when they want a house. And I know that is not a big problem, saying we have a problem with housing, because these idiots in our parliament called the SNP, called a national housing disaster. They said it's a problem only months ago, but I am a racist. I'm a fascist for saying the same as them. They can fund it. And we deserve better. What we need is telling our children and driving our children, infusing them and educating them so they can build the houses of the future and stop the immigration problem, because guess what? That isn't helping housing. And the last problem I've got is the amount of knife crime in our states. I'm a racist. Hiya. You're a crackpot. Big Hoodies here. Big Hoodies here with the people. The gun putting are over there. They hate it, don't they? They absolutely hate it. Right, my fourth problem is knife crime. We saw 3 young beautiful girls murdered in the streets of Southport. And what did our Prime Minister do? He spoke for 3 minutes. He then spoke for another 17 minutes about far-right fascist protests. Never once handling what to do with a knife crime. And I found something out by default. In this country right now, there was a bill passed in February by the Tory party, and I ain't telling you they're any better, by the way. And that came into force a week ago. And we're currently in an amnesty programme for handing back machetes, zombie knives and big knives over 8 inches. And if you take them back to the police, they give you some money. Because after that 29-day window, it will be against the law to make, sell or own any of these knives. And nobody knows. Because our Prime Minister, that communist guy that took the job a couple of weeks ago, the one that they all love, by the way, he forgot to tell us. How crazy is that? We've got one of the biggest new knife laws coming into our country when the 29-day window's done, and he didn't tell anybody. So, that's my problems, and I believe somebody stole my passport. If you hold one of these, I'm bet good money that your concerns are the same, or you wouldn't be here today. So how do we solve them? Well, I'll tell you my view on it, and it may be right, it may be wrong. I'll tell you my opinion. We do what we're doing today over and over and over again until these people listen to our concerns. And the next time we bring a pal, and the time after that we bring a pal, and see by the time we've done 4 or 5 of them, they'll not be in the same postcode as us. Then we take a run up to Holyrood. There's elections in 2026. And for those who watch my programmes on YouTube, you'll know I'm standing. And I hope loads of people like me stand. And I don't care the colour of the rosette. I don't care if they're Reform, SDP, or blue or red rosette, or even independent. As long as I'm not a yellow or green one, I'll stand beside you. Because we know how to sort this shite out. And what we'll do is we'll educate our young to fill the jobs that we keep telling us we get a skill shortage. We'll build houses for the ex-service people on the streets, and we'll sort out this economy. Because we will spend 5 years in that horrible place called Holyrood talking about serious stuff, not about independence. We will bury the talk of independence for 5 years and sort the shite out that they've caused in 17. Who's with me? Come on. Alright, Pierre. There's my security. Right. So, I think that was a 10-minute moan. I hope you all enjoyed it. And, unless you're Hamza Yousaf, unless you're that crackpot communist in Downing Street, and unless you're that mob over there that don't know the difference between right and wrong, everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now. Give up for Craig Houston. What a 10-minute man that was. I hope that will appear on the YouTube channel tomorrow. And he's absolutely right. This spree of stabbings, this mass, every single day we've got stabbings here, mass stabbings there, all across the UK, all across Europe, committed by migrants, committed by asylum seekers, and yet we have to bring more in. Are you serious? These stabbings, this heinous attack in Southport, us unionists, we felt that here in Glasgow. We felt that attack here because we view England and the rest of the UK as our own back garden. Yeah! And yet those in the nationalist camp, they view it as a different country, a foreign nation, that their problems don't affect us. Well, I'm afraid it absolutely does. And Craig is absolutely right to bring up his passport. They don't know what country we live in. We live in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Oh! With that, we've got Alistair McConnachie. He's going to have another speech again, and then I'm going to finish it off. Alistair, when you come. Thank you, Niall, and thank you to Craig, who gave a tremendous talk there. And we raised the point about what we are doing here today is so important. Because, you know, the politicians have got a fancy phrase for it. They call it normalising the narrative. And that's what we're doing. We are normalising the narrative about ending mass immigration. We're normalising the narrative about protecting our country. We're normalising the narrative about stopping the boats, being serious about stopping the boats, not just going after the gangmasters, but turning off the tap before you mop the floor, which requires stopping the boats. Oh, Alistair, how'd you do that? We get a little Royal Navy ship with a couple of Royal Marines on board, we intercept a boat, we tie it to the back of the raft and we drag it back to Cabbie. And once you've done that 2 or 3 times, believe me, the boats will stop coming. And all we need is the political leaders who have been nerved to stand and the moral stamina to take that point on and to stand by it and to do what it takes and to stand up against the media and to stand up against the British taxpayer-funded NGOs. We need to be defunded, by the way. It's a disgrace that the Scottish Refugee Council, it's a disgrace that all these other permits immigration organisations are getting our money. That has to stop. They should never have started in the first place. And people might say that's a bigger rally than ours, but remember, they've got the money, they've got the media, they've got the politicians on their side. But that's going to start changing, because we have the power to convince the politicians that they will not get our vote. They will not be re-elected unless they stand by our agenda, unless they stand up and protect our country. Do you know, if you go to the Home Office website, the very first sentence, and I'm going to read this out so I don't get it wrong. The very first sentence says, quote, "The first duty of the government is to keep citizens safe and the country secure." I'm going to say that again. According to Her Majesty's UK government, the first duty of the government is to keep citizens safe and the country secure. Now I ask you, has the British government in 17 years kept its citizens safe and the country secure, or has it betrayed us? And we have to get back to them taking their responsibilities and their duties as they write them down. Seriously. And they've got 19 speakers on the other side of the square, and I don't want to spend too much time on them, but I just want to point out that of the 19, 12 of them are employed by NGOs or the Scottish Parliament or various trade unions. 12 of the speakers are salaried to campaign specifically for mass immigration. It's an absolute disgrace how our country has fallen to the level where we will pay people to campaign to invade our country. It has to stop. It has to stop, folks. And I'm getting emotional because it's unbelievable. We are standing here today on hallowed ground. Men and women who died that we may be here today. And yet our government is paying people to fight against us. It's beyond belief. Beyond belief. And we need to get the politicians here and we need to say to them, you have to answer to us. You don't answer to your fan club over on the other side of the square that you're paying money so they can lick your ass. You don't answer to them. You answer to the working class men and women of Glasgow and Scotland. And you better do it, Mr. Sala, because our colleague who spoke earlier there, Craig, says, this is not going to be the last time that we're going to do this. We're taking this message directly to the politicians. We're taking it directly to Hollywood. And we're going to make this the issue in 2026. Because believe me, in 2026, there are going to be people standing who will be calling for an end to mass immigration. They will be calling to stop the boats and send them back. They will be opposed to the resettlement of fraudulent asylum seekers in Scotland. So we will have people to vote for on the constituency ballot and on the regional ballot. And if we do that, then the Labour, the SNP, the Tories, the Lib Dems who do not stand with us will lose their seats. And that's the only thing that politicians care about, is getting votes so they can be elected, so that they can pick up the massive salaries that we pay them. That's what they care about. If they know they're going to lose their votes, then they will start to change their tune. And even if they only change it a little, it's still important because it's called moving the narrative our way, moving the discussion our way, taking the discussion from the people on the other side who have got nothing to offer. I was reading their press release, and all they can talk about is quote unquote the importance of multiculturalism and the importance of racial equality. But let me tell you, I think in some ways multiculturalism is okay. In some respects, I think we all want racial equality. In other words, you can believe in multiculturalism and racial equality, but that doesn't mean that we have to have 1.2 million people coming into the country every year. Racial equality does not mean that you should allow your country to be invaded across the English Channel every day. So when they talk about, and Anna Sawar does this, John Swinney does this, when they try to justify immigration, all they talk about is the word multiculturalism and the two words racial equality. Well, even if you agree with all of that, you still don't want the levels of mass immigration that we are suffering from. You still don't want the small boats, and you still don't want them to be resettled in Scotland. So they do not properly address the issues. They just emote. They emote. They're full of emotion. They're not full of logic. They're not full of sense. They're not full of reason. They're not standing up for you and I. They're just emoting because in their heads they prefer to emote than to take on real serious issues and find substantial democratic humane answers to those problems. And that's what we're about here today. We're about finding the humane answers, the democratic answers, the legitimate answers to a very serious situation. And our politicians have to wake up to this. They cannot be standing about with the other side, emoting, sitting about crying, sitting about thinking about themselves. They need to be listening to how do we stop mass immigration? How do we protect our country? How do we stop the bulls? How do we send them back? How do we keep Scotland for our children a safe and prosperous country to live in? So that's the two things we're doing. We're normalising the conversation, and that's why they are so angry. They are so angry because they see their irresponsible open borders narrative slipping away. No longer from this day forward will the question of mass immigration into Scotland be something that we all have to just sit and tolerate and agree with. So there's the two things we're doing. We're normalising the conversation. From this day forward, this is an issue that we're going to speak about. No longer is mass immigration a sacred cow in Scotland. From this day forward, it's something we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about making it less. We're going to talk about reducing it back to historic norms. And secondly, we're going to ensure and we're going to commit that in 2026, we will only vote for people who stand on our values of protecting our country, of ending mass immigration into Scotland, and stopping the boats and sending them back. Folks, I just want to end it on that point, but before I go, I just want to say a big thank you to the man whose vision this was, and without whose vision we would not be here today, and that is the Glasgow Cabbie. I want to thank him. So Steph, a big thank you to you. Now, I just got one more question. Folks, should we do this again? Well, that sounds like a yes. And on that point, I'll hand you over to a fantastic compere Niall. Thank you, Alistair. Right, what an amazing crowd we've got here today. And I just wanted to thank the police for facilitating this at this point in time. I don't think we would have been able to do this without the police, if I'm honest. So a big thank you to all the police and here today. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, before I start properly, I wanted to thank all of yous that came. All of yous for your bravery and facing down that mob today. Thank you for standing against the machine. The machine that grinds us down more and more as human beings every single day. The machine that wants to sap us of our senses, that wants to sap us of our faculties. If you want to gaze upon the power of the machine, just look at that angry mob as produced today. Useful idiots told when and where and whom to direct their anger at. Idiots! How many people in that crowd today do you think are being paid to be here? Hundreds! You want to know how many of us are being paid to be here today? Take a guess! Absolutely none! Zero! The machine fears us because we cannot be bought. They fear us because we have deep right principles that will never be abandoned. Never. They fear us because we seek a better life for our children and will not stop fighting to build a better tomorrow for them. We're here today to make a physical stand against the sheer insanity of mass migration. Sheer unbridled insanity is what it is. It's societal suicide. And let's be honest, it stopped being migration a long time ago and it started to become an invasion a long time ago. Up and down the length of Britain. Up and down the length of Britain, you'll see huge, ancient barriers right along our coastline. Right along our coastline that used to shoot cannons at people coming and invading us on boats. Back when we used to care about the safety and security of the people here. Back when we used to care about the sanctity of our borders. Yes! Keep going, Ron. Keep going. If we can't stop the boats, we do not have a country. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. If we cannot stop the boats, then we do not have a country anymore. It's an imperative that this ends. It's imperative. Every other week, we've got news reports, stabbings here, mass stabbings there, all over the UK, all over Europe, committed by migrants, committed by asylum seekers. Not all go just round the corner from here. Just round the corner from here, if you can believe it. 6 people were stabbed by an asylum seeker, put up in a hotel on our money. And that crowd over there, they want more than that. Is that what they want? Is that truly what they want? I don't think so. They can't want that. That crowd would have more danger alive on our shores. More danger. It's unacceptable to place the people, the citizens of Great Britain, in peril and in danger like this. It's unacceptable. People are absolutely terrified for their children's safety. And our governments, both the Scottish Government and the Westminster Government, are failing their very first duty to keep citizens safe. Both governments have broken the social contract with the people, imperiling us with uncontrolled and unvetted immigration. When I look at the crowds over there shouting abuse at us, spitting at us, directing their wrath at us, I see an opportunity to bring people together, to bring people back together. That's the key. Bring people back together. Scotland was the always as divided as it is now. It never used to be like this. I can see the truth in people's faces right in front of me. It never used to be as bad as this. It's an opportunity to dismantle, to attack the very divisions that hold us back, to hold us back as Scots, to making Scotland the best place on earth. The nationalist camps, the yes camps and the counter-protests believe the government, the Westminster government, are ruining Scotland, depriving Scotland of wealth and resource. But they never, ever point fingers at the blatantly morally corrupt Scottish government. They never point fingers at themselves. They can't bear to look themselves in the mirror. Both governments are strangling us. Both governments, the Westminster and the Holyrood governments, they're reducing our quality of life. They're diminishing the magical and wonderful human experience. And let's talk about the human experience for a second. I've just been blessed with a beautiful baby boy.
Hey!
Blessed. And the very moment, the instant I looked into his eyes, my life changed instantly. He's only 4 months old, but it feels like he's been here forever. And if you're a parent, you'll know exactly what I mean. I owe it to my son to leave Scotland a better place than what it is now. I owe it to my son to make sure he can experience everything that I have and more. All the beautiful moments in a person's life. All the beautiful moments in a person's life. All the memories you've got. So rich, so vivid, so full of love that you wouldn't trade them all for all the money in the world. He is owed that. My son is owed that. And it's my responsibility as a dad to deliver it. Scotland, the way it's going, the way it's been mismanaged, the way it's becoming a haven for crime, the way our streets have become unsafe. Unsafe for man, woman, or even beast. My grandchildren as well, pal. Everyone. The people in Scotland as well. The staggering levels of drug deaths we've got here. It's no wonder. It's no wonder our people are walking the tightrope of addiction every single day, and a lot of them fall off. A lot of them fall off and they won't make it back. This is not a future that I will allow my son to be in. This is impossible. We cannot allow this to happen. Our country is being degraded every single minute that the people in there, the people in Holyrood. And I'll end with this. I've said it in speeches before, but I'll say it again. It all comes down to how we will be remembered. Do you want to be remembered as the righteous souls who stood up against tyranny? Is that what you want? Do you want to be remembered as the person who took the road less travelled, the harder road? Not the easy road, the harder road. Do you want to be remembered as the man or woman who fought for a better future for your children? That's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. We are building a country that is safe and secure for our kids. That's imperative. That's priority number one. Do you want to be the person who saw through the government's lies? Because that's what it is. We're being cast a spell all the way over there. It's the perception altering. They want to change the narrative by paying people to show up to make it look like they somehow have the moral majority when it's not the case. When I look at that building up there, people make Glasgow. What a sick joke. It makes me physically sick, man. You know why? Because maybe one day that'll be true. Maybe one day people will make Glasgow, but at the moment it's simply untrue. And when I look at that crowd over there, moral and intellectual cowardice makes Glasgow. That's what they've got on their side. Cowardice. And what have we got on their side? Bravery. The fact that we can all stand here with the correct position, the unassailable position that mass immigration is wrong. Everything that has happened in the face of this. And look at the level of pushback that we get. It's incredible. Say it again. Over on that side, people don't make Glasgow. On that side, on the that side, is cowardice, it's moral cowardice, it's intellectual cowardice that makes Glasgow on that side. And what have we got here? Bravery, strength, love, family. This is what we fight for. And this is why we'll continue to fight all the way up. We've got an election in 20 months to the day, I believe. We can't allow these corrupt, morally corrupt wastes of species to occupy the political positions of power in our country. It's not allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. We can't allow it to happen. Right, guys, it's been a spirited event. I thank you all for coming. I just want to thank the police once again for making this happen. Without them, we would not have been able to speak today. And we'll give a big cheer for all the speakers today. Johnny, Alistair, thanks for good. Craig Houston, and myself. Right, folks, thank you very much. Let's make sure everyone gets home safe over. Okay? Thank you.
Very much, chat. Oh. Thank you. So, just keep it going. Hey, well done for all the work you've done. Oh. Pois não, coloca-se o What's the reason for coming to that we had this discussion in Scotland about the level smash and very much looks now the last couple of years and it's like and it's not going to happen. We always just
Great speech. All four of you.
I'm sure
I'll get you, Alistair, and Neil to get a photograph of you, all four of you together. Alistair, Alistair, Alistair.
and what you call it, I'm a Liverpoolian Liverpool.
That was the drive anyway. You know, I used to travel back there for weeks. Telling you, like,
It just gives you the strength to fight.
hey, 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 hey. I'm going to get all four filters together. Yeah. I'm trying to get them. Alistair, we're going to have all four filters and put it up on all four filters. Right. Just get a fire just together.
Get my number. Keep in contact with me, please.
Right. Alright, watch it. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Chase. I like your camera deal. No, I'm just dog. That's just why I'm doing a live feed at the moment. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm still. Are you alright? Yeah. You're doing a great job. Still, I'm hard work, isn't it? I'm doing all the tasks. I've got my room is the room was that's why I'm doing that. I'll keep doing it all. So it's yeah. Not that far off. You've done ever so well. But yeah, you are sometimes. Yeah, well, I'm doing that constantly. Yeah. Can you get the back on? I'm kind of shocked. Is he on here, Con? Yeah. Keep on to the gym when he hits it. Good care. You take something.
Let's see the face.
And I'm a member of Patriotic Independent Scotland. And today I would like to talk about the Samuel Amelia case, the James Costello case, and the James McKenna case. Samuel Amelia was jailed for 2 years on the 1st of March 2024 at Leeds Great Court. His statements were found to be truthful, they were found to be lawful. Judge Wiggins in this case said that he was convicted for what he was thinking at the time. That crime is not a thing in the United Kingdom. James Costello was jailed for 5 years for having possession of a book. James McConnachie was jailed at the Barclaycard Court because he was charged with sex and 38 because he was speaking
against the COVID vaccines. James McKenna did not consent to his children being vaccinated. The school nurse was looking for parental consent. He said no. He went along to the school. He said a couple of sweary words, and he still found himself falling foul of the Section 38 legislation. So, watch this space. On September the 16th, James McKenna will be an intermediate at the Barton Chair of Court. Now, if we look at this crowd behind us, they are definitely not a united camp. They are absolutely anti-Scottish and anti-British. Many of the people in this
He's doing a speech of some guy who's got going into court. No idea.
All the services are picking up people who are not Scottish. Scottish people again should be around in the I am absolutely sick of being right there. I am absolutely sick of being top last in the queue. I'd like to thank Alistair and these people for coming along here and inviting me along here to speak to them. Thank you very much. If you want more information, you will get it on Article 37.org.uk. Thank you.
They cannot, it seems they've got a lack of vocabulary of what they've got to say. It's the same.
You go and ask
Oh,
them,
right,
right? You go and ask them. Sign up with them.
yeah.
Right? Sign
I've recognised that one, that voice. She's fucking speech is when it comes to the working day matches, as I call them. How's your channel going?
Like we're going to fire away, right? There's going to be a man pick up. You've got to go back to the should I say?
We need to have him next meeting. We will have a good.
I know, he's going to speak next time.
It's good to see you. Take care.
We're just heading on.
No, we're not.
You want to keep these up?
No, we wrap those up. Part one.
What may have thought? Yeah, what may have thought when that stop buying brand.
That's actually inspired by Mark. I think so.
That's for fucking ass. Definitely I thought, no, I was thinking blind. It's blind.
It's posing on the fucking criminals and the fucking pedophiles who are how they all fucking linked together.
And that's just part one. Doing Sandy, imagine. Two in this room. So, right.
Don't remind us. Stop
One of the better. See some cunt say something we do not health.
I mean,
I think it's the other way round.
we are decent and they are scum.
I'd say just up. I know. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees. Refugees. Refugees.
I'm doing that. Yeah, I get access.
I got up to
I'm banned every week.
2 days, 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, 30 fucking days. Who I know you can call a touch ball bags. I want it for kids. No. No, it's music.
Say a few words to the camera. Just follow us around.
Right, okay. Not bad. Don't use mate. Awful.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi folks, tell me if you can hear me on the camera, please. And I just want to give you a little tour of what's been happening. Tell me if you can see, if you can hear me. Okay, anybody in the chat that can hear me? I think you should be able to hear me. What we're going to do is we're just going to wander around. The sun has come out. We had, I would say, about 500 people today. A lot of people. And really pleased about that. Very pleased about that. I thought if we get 200, it'll be a success. Well, we got double what I thought. So that's excellent news. And I really had a message there, though. There's a lot of people who should have been here. and who are not here. And I'm talking about like the middle class, basically, Scottish middle class. You've got to stop sitting on your arses. And I'm not talking to the viewers, I'm talking just generally, and my thoughts here is that we need help, and we need the middle class's help, because the middle class are the ones with the money, they're the ones with the connections, they're the ones that have got the professions, and we need you to come along and stand with us, okay? We here in the square can only do so much. And I want to just thank everybody in the square who came along today. Absolutely fantastic. Basically, the Glasgow working class came along to stand with us against, let's just say, a bunch of fruitcakes, right? Salaried agitators from NGOs, salaried agitators from the Scottish Parliament, salaried agitators from the council, salaried agitators from the trade unions, people who get paid money to basically bugger up the country. They get paid money that we give them. We, the taxpayers, are giving money to this group over here. Let me show you these NGOs. Let's take a walk over. We need to secure our borders. Yeah. Which is what this flag says here.
In our barbed wire.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I like that soul tire. That's a nice soul tire.
M60 machine guns.
This group over here, and what you're looking at is the NGOs, non-governmental organisations. You're looking at the Scottish Parliament and council officials. You're looking at salaried members of the trade unions, okay, not trade union members, but the actual office staff of the trade unions who are told to come out today.
Students with nothing else to do.
And students, as this gentleman says, with nothing else to do.
People with project in paid.
Very possibly so. And also a lot of Palestinians. I'm not quite sure why the Palestinians are here, or what that's got to do with protecting Britain's borders.
I've seen a sign up there saying free Palestine. Can you show me on a map where Palestine is?
Well, I don't want to get into that particular argument, but at the point of view is it is a foreign country, and it's not to do with us here, our concerns to secure our borders. So they seem to be more concerned about foreign countries than they are about Britain. Well, exactly. I mean, when you look at the size of Britain, for example, and compare it to the size of Africa, I mean, I must do that calculation. How many times Britain fits into Africa?
In France? That's a safe country. I wouldn't like to come over here because I'd be
Okay. Sorry.
is absolutely terrible, by the way. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely. Oh, what is that all about? You can dance for that. Christ's sake, I know all the people who dance for that. You're probably speak to make myself dance for it. Just for a bunch of middle class snobs. That's what you say. Down here clapping your wee hands, waving your wee stupid posters. There's no nothing. I bet you there's not worries. We take a refugee in. No room. You've got no room for refugees. You want them all in other people's rented houses. People can't get a house because of the refugees and the asylum seekers. And that fuck. Oh, you're going to shut up? You're going to shut up? Come on. Here's a favour. I'll give you a tenner if you don't play anymore. Come on. Enough. That's enough. That's enough. Come on. I'll come out outside and start shouting at his mum. We can see you in front of our eyes now. We are here. We are here together. Proud to be together. We stand against racism. Oh! We are the Palestinian people fighting for liberation. In solidarity with the not a fake variety. You know, you can't influence as much as you can.
So, yeah, talking to the camera again, what I would say is this, is that this was the first time that this has been done. This is the first well, let's call it immigration restriction event that's been held in Glasgow. 500 people turned up. That's extremely good, considering that a lot of people were scared away. And they were scared away by that mob over there who call everybody nasty names. But what we've got to ensure now in future is that when we do this again, more people come along. So we've got to keep the pressure up. We've got to keep the pressure up on the positive.
Hey, this is Scotland. We do want anything they give it up. I try to Scotland better than you want shouting about Palestine. Don't know nothing about it. Don't want anything to do it. Don't want any more money to go there. End of.
Yeah, I love the video.
The best thing is it's only a couple of us. Our message was a message. Aye, well, there was about 300 of them at the other side of the square, and as soon as we set up over there, about over 150 over half of them. But the folks were very good about it, and they just taught the line to us. So everything went good. the thing is, you've got to get the message out. What's the best way of getting the message out? And sometimes it's like man events and things like that. So that was a big success. That was a big win for us. Totally just got to it rally and we got our message out. All the speakers there were absolutely really good speakers, full of passion for Scotland and for the United Kingdom. As I was saying there, look, this is about our country. This is about 1.2 million people coming in every year, coming in long-term immigrants coming in every year. The British nationalists, I don't care if you're Scottish Unionist, we have our differences with the nationalists, but surely we can all agree that Scotland needs to be protected.
By the way, we have got borders. Aye, we have got borders. It's called the United Kingdom. That's called the borders. You've got a wee border round about it, just in case you were interested.
That's a picture of a wee drone. The drone audit Scotland. And that's my wee drone that fly over. Alright. So it's the reason it's green so you can see it very high vis. The people like me when I've been doing the iPods. So basically it's good. So I don't sit and say to the rain. They're tuning down, they get a good say of the rain. I just turn up my drone and fly over. I can't fly over here again because of time. Now we can fly over to this bit. It's got to be. Because the times you can't get it. Alright. That's just good thing. It'd be good to get this.
Aye, good. It's colourful anyway.
There is not one of us racist, by the way. None of us are racist. I don't know where you come to that conclusion. Nobody's racist. We're just making us racist. That is all. We're racist. These are the ones. We are not racist. I just thought just for us per normal, you get everything wrong. Absolutely everything. Okay, it's you. You are the racists. White privilege. If that isn't anti-white racism, I don't know what is. You seem to be self-loathing. We loathe you, and you loathe yourselves. So why don't you clear off? We don't want you here. This is our city. This is our city chambers. Magnificent building. People like you are not fit to stand in this square. I mean, at home, the council had the cleansing department laid on to give the bit you've been standing on a good job. Because that's how it needs. We want you out of our square. This is our city. So cheerio and clear off.
So I've got a friend to make sure to happen, which is ideal. But it's a friend so just everything that we obviously
You want me to tell me how you suddenly can hear? You want me to tell you how you suddenly can hear? How we can hear? Because we've got good hussies to go to. You go to get hostels and hotels. We've got hussies. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. All you can talk about is from the river to the sea. The same monotonous chant. None of you know really what this city stands for. This city is the city of the empire. It's a great city. And that building behind me, the city chambers, built in 1888 at a peak of the British Empire and the height of this country's fortunes and prosperity. And people like you are not fit to stand in this square. You're the dregs. So go away. We don't want you here. We don't want you here, and we don't want asylum floods coming across in rubber dingers and invading our country. We want them removed immediately. And ideally, we want the government removed as well, because we don't believe that the current administration at Westminster represents the British people. It represents a small clique of people like you who want to destroy this country, its history, and its people. So clear off. Don't jump in the river. I suggest you take a walk down to the Clyde and heave yourselves in, because that's the river we want you to end up in. I should tell you another thing that's happened recently that really pleased me. Really helped me get a good night's sleep. That was when they, asylum seekers, get their bus travel, their free bus travel taken off them. Aye, I'm paid for it, but now they're getting it taken off. By God, I had a good night's sleep when I heard that. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for giving me a shot at the microphone. It's great to see you here in big numbers, despite everything over the fence. I'd just like to bring your attention, there's an event on in Partick on the 27th of September, which is a Friday, in Manfield Square. That's in between the Quarter Jowl and the Lesmore. So that's the 27th of September on a Friday at 6:30. It's going to be a similar event to this, but more against globalisation and against digital ID. But obviously mass immigration is a massive part of that, and we're against that as well. There's going to be a lot of local bands, upcoming talent, and different musicians, all from the Glasgow area. So I hope to see every single one of you there. Thank you. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, these are unfortunate people on the other side of the square are still there and showing no signs of leaving at the moment. But there's still plenty of us here, and we're going to carry on waving the flag for our country, standing up for our country, and opposing what we consider to be the traitors, both in the Scottish Parliament and in Westminster. And we are going to come back to this square again and again and again. And whatever it takes, we're going to get our country back. We're not against genuine people fleeing persecution, far from it. But we are against our asylum frauds and the communists who assist them, busily destroying their own country. And these communists are those people standing on the other side of the square with their phony posters and flags. The trade unions, they're an absolute shire. And the various NGOs who don't represent anyone but themselves. And in fact, those NGOs are funded by us, the taxpayer, the government. That's an absolute disgrace. That needs to end. I mean, the state that our country has got into now is appalling, and we need to pull it back. And people like you who are prepared to make the effort to come out to events like this, to stand up against these communist traitors, and that's all we are, Marxist, they're communist traitors. It's as simple as that, these people over there. They're very aggressive, they're very loud. We need to match them and more so, and defeat them. And we need to get our country back. And we've got the guts to do it, and we're going to do it.
Guys, fucking stick up your arse. Can't help it. Something else. No, give us a song. It's getting to the X-rated content. You're for long.
These people are calling for justice. Justice as a verify for these people last century was slaughtered in the strong the communists, Marxists, subversives. These people are dangerous. And we're here to oppose them, and we're going to destroy their ideology. And we're going to make sure that we do that. And it has to be done soon. Keir Starmer, unfortunately, the Prime Minister we now have, is a man who cannot be trusted to act in the interests of the country and the British people. He and his sidekicks need to be removed from power as possible. Come what may. We want it to be done democratically, of course. We're not calling for anything other than that. But we think that unless something is done, then we're going to end up in a very bad place. So we must take action, and taking action on the street is the way to do it now. Our politicians, most of the politicians, the mainstream politicians, don't properly represent our views. So we must act, and we must on the street. And this is why I'm here, and this is why you're here. And we're going to carry on doing that, as I said earlier, for as long as it takes. And we're going to defeat those swine standing opposite us there. They're the enemy. We must remove them from society, from the country, and prevail. Freedom and justice must prevail. We must not allow these fanatics and extremists to prevail. Thank you.
Oh, no, another fighting man. Oh, Golden Goblin. Oh, this one sounds that bad. I'm tempted to get him. Oh, you need to get a rest, Hen. Honestly, that is absolute piss. Oh, God's sake, man. Don't kid yourself on, you're a singer. And if you're a refugee, would you please leave my country? Please? I'll help you. I'll take you to the airport. Aye.
Oh, look at it. You sound, it's like a bus run. It's like a bunch of wee wains in a bus run. Nah, 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 nah. What are you like? Absolutely making a fool of yourselves. Oh, these stupid flags. And this is actually Scotland, Britain. Oh, geez a brick. That is the song. That's made me go home now. It's that bad. Absolutely that bad. Oh, get one. Change the record. It's a broken record. You keep saying the same thing over and over. That's all you can think about. God save the king. Sing it. I'm not going to sing it. This is Scotland. This is our community. This is our community. Aye. Remember that. Hamza Yusuf made me racist. I'm a racist. It was Hamza Yusuf. Racist.
Too many white people.
This is narcissism. God save our king. Save our warriors. Warriors. Watering over us. I forget what song I was in the other night. Until he started to sing God Save the King. Alrighty, man. It's been many years that I should have taken a refugee and asylum seeker. How many of you would take an asylum seeker? You would take an asylum seeker. Canny. Put your hand up if you would take in an asylum seeker. Let me see it. Hands up. Now. Well, actually, about few people. So they're all pretty charming, really. Charlie's got swimming.
Vixen, Edmund, surprise. Right. So, I'm going to I don't know, that's I'm thinking trying to get that side will have some technical issues. No way. What's happening? Is it? Change it into the no, it's okay. Wait.
Like it was roasted, wasn't cloud in the sky, and I was sunburnt by the end. I was pink, and I was thinking, oh, I hope it's like that in Glasgow as well. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it does make a difference when the sun's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much.
Testing. Friends, we are here to protest against fascists. But many people have died fighting against fascists. So we here again with song dedicated to those who died fighting fascism. We this cannot please keep the
Yeah, because I've got a system. That's a system. Right, yeah.
The idea where he went from managed to leave them.
Yeah. I'll run after. Oh.
I think it went well. I was expecting to run 500 people, which we had considering that at the beginning was over 11,000. At the beginning of any event, at the beginning of any kind of movement, it's only going to be the bold and the brave. It's only going to be the bold and the brave who will step up, and 500 of them stepped up today. And next time around, this will have given courage to those who are a little bit afraid, and it will ensure that it'll be better next time, but there'll be even more people next time. And it was peaceful as well. The only aggression thing on their side was constant instigating. Somebody tried to steal a flag off us. I don't know how that ended up, and they threw a couple of eggs at us as well. But that was the only problem. Our side was impeccably well behaved, and I just want to say thank you to them all for doing that. Absolutely. Do you know? Sorry. I'm not their enemy. Well, that's why you don't understand that. Yes. Their enemy is in their bed. Yes. And their partner, the enemy person, they must speak to us on a conversational level. Forget the insults, forget the classes, forget the speak to us without the labels. They would actually get more information and realise that we're on the same side. We almost fight for this actually fight. Well, exactly, against globalism and against the international capitalism that they fuel us. Certainly. And what they don't realise is the people that they're defending is the same people that are willing to put
in, the murders, riots and speech to happen. The defendant, the right people, that is actually causing bigger division. And if we as evil people, fascists, racists, that only creates more division. And people thrive on these labels. But now, in terms of the numbers, right, we got here today, the biggest thing we've got is people are scared to come up to events like this without the fear of being labelled. And if you attend somewhere, whether you're on that side or this side, you're going to be labelled. And people don't want that label.
Well, that's right. And that scares people away. They do that deliberately.
Yes, they do that deliberately because they think my life could be impacted by this. I'm seen walking through George Square, and I just so happen to get caught between the rock and the hard place. I go back to my work on a Monday. You attended that rally on Saturday, right? What were you doing? And it's a whole line of questions, and people are now in a situation where they depend on their job for their family, and they're too scared to speak out because of that threat that they get.
But you know what? Next time, the next rally we have, maybe you could be a speaker and make that point.
Well, that's
a good point.
It's the fear, but it's not fear for us, and it's not the fear for them. It's the fear for the government. The governments are saying if you attend these rallies, or you attend these protests, you're fascist, you're racist, or you're an Islamophobe, or whatever. It's the government that's labelling the far right. We're not saying we're far right, and they're not saying they're far left. And it's the government that's causing this divide. And the sooner we change the governments, we change the narrative. Like you said in your speech. You change that, you change the picture, and it's totality. But like I says to you, before the Labour was elected, things are only going to get worse. And they've not gotten any better. They've only got worse. Like you said, how many migrants have come? Like they were waiting on the border for Labour to get elected. Boom, in they come. Flooding in, boats upon boats. Now, I said, as Craig, I think, he stood up with his passport, imagine we jumped a boat and sailed to France. Would we get in, or would we get stopped? You know? We would get stopped and we'd get sent back on our merry way. But, not a problem, Alistair. We'll speak, obviously, at some point.
Let's get you on the stage next time round.
That's if you would dare to have me on the stage. But, I'd get arrested, man.
Do you know where the Secure the Borders flag went?
Is it through that one, is it? That one. Oh, I feel one, the blue, red one.
Yeah.
That was at the front as well, I'm sure.
I'll go and have a look.
It's on a good sailing flag. Then we can play the flag. Right on flag. Very good from the Bossy. It's very good from the
It was a lot better than I was expecting. We've been here from, certainly there was 500 anyway, yeah.
There was thousands upon thousands of people sitting on this side there. We wanted, if you need to move, there's no point moaning about it.
You have to come out, you have to be on the street.
Come on, Niall. You were paid to be here. You're paid. And Paul, to stand here. You're not. We are more than them. We are more than them. We do this.
Too many of our people are afraid. They're afraid of what? You know, you have to become the mainstream. You have to become the mainstream.
Really big goal.
We can't dance, we can't sing, we can't make any sense of the we do well problem.
We gave it to these two people. We took pictures of it. We thought so nobody get picked up. Could you just go around and come back?
That's the scum of our street. 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 Nazi 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 scum of our street. Fascist scum of our street. Fascist scum of our street. Nazi scum of our street. Nazi scum of our street. Fascist scum of our street. Racist scum of our street. Racist scum of our street.
Yeah. Don't pick up any shitty stuff.
So just like basically stuff about
Do you want to say goodbye to Alistair? Do you want to say goodbye to
Sorry? Bye-bye. Okay, folks, we're packing up now. It's been a great day. We're all just going to slowly leave the square. There was 500 of us. We had over 1,000 people watching. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Please do follow us. We are at forceforgood.uk. Go to our website. Let me bring it up. Okay, so sign up there, please, folks, if you like what you see, and if you want to be kept in touch about our next events, whether that's in Edinburgh, whether it's in Glasgow, wherever. But we're going to keep this immigration restrictionist agenda going, and we're going to make sure that the politicians hear what we say. We're going to change the narrative. We're changing that today, and we're going to make sure that the politicians in 2026 know that unless they're for ending mass immigration, unless they are going to stop the votes and send them back, then we are not going to vote for them, because there will be people that we can vote for instead. So that's our message to the mainstream politicians. Folks, thanks for watching. We'll say goodbye.